Hello and happy Monday and happy 4th of July week. Let me know, are you on vacation or is this going to be a short week for you? What are you looking forward to this week? But what a great week to talk about freedom. And my verse for yesterday was Psalm 34:4. And let me just share that with you real quick. It says, I prayed to the Lord and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. And freedom is something that I love to talk about. Here in this space, we talk about living and being fit and free. And what is that? What is living fit and free? The world, by a lot of the world standards, and when you look at losing weight and all of those kinds of things, it's about restriction. It's about counting the numbers and counting the calories and all of those sorts of things. And so, oh, sorry about that. The phone, we still have a landline, yes, and it drives me crazy, but we have to have it. So, anyway, but back to freedom. Freedom, you can live fit, you can live a healthy and fit life without being tied down to plans and programs and numbers, and just learning how to live a life that honors God by honoring the body that He's given you. So that is what Fit and Free is about. And so I have found that freedom in my life, and how to live fit and healthy, but there were still things that I didn't realize, that I was still bound to, and things that had a hold on me. And so when I looked at this verse again in Psalm 34:4 is what we're looking at this week, and it says, I prayed to the Lord and He answered me. And that's the first thing that we need to know, is that God is there. He doesn't just save us from our sin and then check us off and move on to the next person. He wants us to live in the fullness of everything that He has and everything that His Spirit has for us. When we look in Galatians and the fruit of the Spirit, there's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. He wants us to have those things and experience those things in our lives. But this also says He freed me from my fears. And let me tell you, I was afraid. I had fears. I had fears growing up. I was so shy. I was afraid to kind of be in the spotlight, or I was afraid to get, when the attention would come on me. I was afraid of getting fat. I was afraid that nobody would love me. I was afraid that I would be alone for my entire life, that I would not be married, nobody would want to marry me. I was afraid then when I had my child that I wouldn't bond with my child. I was afraid I wouldn't know how to be a mom and connect with my son, and all these things. They're just fears in our lives. And the thing is, I didn't even realize I had some of those fears. And just recently, within the last couple of weeks, I was talking with somebody. She's getting her counseling certification, and so I said, yeah, let's talk. And as we began to dig into some of the things that I was just struggling with, one of those is I realized I still held on to some fears. I still held on to that fear that when I was growing up, I didn't want to gain weight. And to this day, and a couple of weeks ago, I realized I still fear that. I still am afraid that, I'm going to be fat, that, I'm going to gain weight. There's still some of that fear in me. And, now with running and struggling with my knees and different injuries I've had, I'm afraid of slowing down. I'm afraid of running in a group with people and slowing them down. I mean, there are all these things that when we take a moment and, I realize, gosh, I still have some fears and I don't like those. I don't like what they were doing in me. I didn't realize that I was afraid of those things and that I was still holding on to that. But I thank God that He doesn't let us just settle into places in our lives, that He continues to knock, and he opens doors for us to begin to, shed light on those corners of our lives, those little corners that, we don't see, or we keep kind of shoving back, and, okay, that's just, it's just a little struggle. I'm just going through a funk, or whatever the case is. But he wants to free us from all those things. He wants to set us free. And, the thing is that Satan, if he can get a hold on us with our thoughts,